Broncos Country, welcome into our mailbag episode that airs every single live show, which is on today's recording, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time, getting real questions from Broncos fans to another big-time Denver Broncos fan. Now, coming up in Week 16, the Broncos are on an 11-game win streak going up against another very good team this year. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 10-4, but the Broncos are no longer underdogs at home. They are now the overdogs at home. And to start us off with a DB4L, Coach Chris coming in with a $50 super chat. Let's go Broncos. First seed and the AFC crown. It's ours for the taking. This is the best team in the NFL right now. There's not a singular team that is playing better football right now than the Denver Broncos, specifically when they come in and play all three phases of their game. Offense, defense, special teams. When all three of those phases come together, the Broncos are by far and away the most talented team in the entire league. There's no debating it whatsoever. Shout out to you, Coach Chris, for your $50 super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Speaking of another Chris Ray. Good to see Bo live against the Raiders in Denver last year, and I had a feeling with how he played that we found our guy. I could see him taking down some of Elway's franchise records someday. A deep playoff run incoming. I like where your head's at. I think we're just running that gun a little bit too quickly. John Elway is the greatest Denver Broncos quarterback that's ever lived. Bo Nix has had a very good start to his career. I think he is the franchise quarterback for the next 10-plus years or however long, barring any injury, knock on wood. I just think we might need to pump the brakes a little bit when it comes to saying that he could break Elway's records. But I will say this, the last part of your question and the last part of your statement, excellent. I do see a deep playoff run coming. I do believe the Denver Broncos, at minimum, get to the AFC Championship game this season. Thank you, Chris, for your $20 super chat. All things football with the $5 super chat. A lot of supers today. That's great stuff. This is a trap game because I know people are sleeping on the Jags. How do you see a win, Moose? Any score prediction? Sorry if I missed it earlier. You didn't miss it earlier. I didn't answer this question yet, but I don't think it's a trap game because the Jaguars are 10-4. The definition of a trap game is a team that's not supposed to beat you with a much more poor record. The Jaguars are a good football team. They're at the very top of their division, and currently I think they're the number 3 or the number 4 seed in the entire AFC. They're the number 3 seed. Thank you, producer Alper. So I can't say that it's a trap game, but I do see us winning on the back of Bo Nix, considering the Jacksonville Jaguars are the number 1 team against the run in the NFL. They've got a great defensive line in stopping the run. Score prediction to answer your final part, 27-20 Broncos win. Coach Chris with another $50 super chat. DB4L. Let's see Alper sweats. Talking about the bet that we made earlier today. Any news on Ben Powers, RJ, and Stranad? RJ Harvey is fine. Sean Payton came out and said that his rib's not a huge injury. Stranad does not look good. He did not practice at the time of this recording. And the Broncos, at least from everything that I'm reading, believe that it's a more serious injury with his ankle. Powers is designated to return. I think he's going to be just fine. We're going to have him back for the playoffs here coming up in just a couple of weeks. So I'm not super worried about it. Young Feege with the $5 super. Why do you think there's less Broncos players in Pro Bowl voting? Because it's fan-led, and most fans don't love what the Broncos are doing outside of Broncos fans, which they're wrong because we have so much talent. But a lot of it is fan voting. So, the Broncos don't make a ton of headlines every single week. They do in Denver. But, and more recently they have been, but for the most part, most of them are like, oh, Drake May, he's low for a lot. Matt Stafford, he's low for a lot. So it's just, whatever. I'm not super upset about it. Although I did see somewhere that the Broncos had, 10 candidates in Pro Bowl voting, which is more than any team in the NFL. So, I mean, at least they're acknowledging that there is talent on the team. Danny. If first place is locked up, do you see the value in the starters playing in Week 17? If we rest them, they will be sitting for weeks. No, you do not rest them in Week 17. You would rest them in Week 18. But I also could very well see Sean Payton saying, if we win the number 1 seed, that bye week is the time to rest your players. So I could very easily see him playing all of the starters from now until the very end of the regular season. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities. And the Broncos have an opportunity to go 15-2 this year, which is, from last year even, an exceptional feat. So I'm right there with you, Danny. I think it's possible, but I will say it's not very probable. I believe with the Stranad injury, speaking of which, what linebackers can we get in free agency or the draft? Not super sure about free agency in this one. I'd have to go back and do my homework a little bit more, but I do know that there's a couple of draftable players, specifically where the Broncos are currently drafting. We pick 32nd right now. And in case you were doing the math, there's only 32 teams. So as of right now, we're the last pick in the 2026 NFL draft, which I'm not super upset about because it means you're pretty much in contention for a Super Bowl or winning a Super Bowl every single year. But to answer your question more specifically, there is a linebacker from the University of Texas named Anthony Hill Jr., and this dude's a stud. He's really, really good. I view him a lot like Jihad Campbell from Alabama last year, who went to the Philadelphia Eagles, funny enough, who just won the Super Bowl last year against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we can go back and forth about what year was better, 2024 or 2025. It's obvious that 2024 was his better season than this year, but he's also dealing with an injury. He broke his hand like 3 weeks ago. So he hasn't played in the last 2 games. He's only played 10 games this year. And still, 69 tackles, so he's almost averaging 7 tackles a game, 7 for loss, 4 sacks, and a coverage grade of 63.3. He's a multifaceted linebacker. He can do it all. He can play as an edge. He can play as a special teamer. He can play as a coverage backer, so on and so forth. The reason that I bring this up is because with Dre Greenlaw here for the next 2 years, and I think we're going to see a lot of great from Dre Greenlaw, depending on what we want to do with Alex Singleton, there is a world in which the Broncos only re-sign Singleton to a 1-year deal. And look, the last 2 seasons, this guy's been unbelievable. 2024, he was amazing. Remember, he played 16 games in 2024. 113 tackles, 16.5 for loss, 8 sack, and a coverage grade that was slightly less. Now, 2025, like I said, he's dealing with the broken hand. It's obviously a slight regression, but not that much. I mean, this dude can still really play. And again, I told you, he reminds me a lot of Jihad Campbell, the multifaceted linebacker, pressure player, surveyor over the middle of the field, can drop back in coverage, can play as an edge. He can do it all. He can do it all. So why not just draft Anthony Hill and have him as that rotational piece alongside the likes of Q Robinson? Then next year, if you wanted to have it, you could have Q, Dre, Alex Singleton, and Hill as your 4 linebackers, your interior linebackers. Obviously, the outside linebackers play more as edges, but I don't think you're moving Jonah Ellis back to that, middle part of the field. It just doesn't make any sense. So if you're going to draft a linebacker, let me know down in the comment section down below. Yes or no, or if you're in the live chat, let me know in the live chat down below as well. Before we continue on with a few more questions, I got to tell you guys about our friends over at Rocket Money, the app that is personally saving me hundreds of dollars every single month. And I'll tell you why that is the case. Maybe you thought that you had a solid handle on your budget. Maybe your spreadsheet said that you should have an extra $1,000 left over each month. But if your bank account isn't reflecting that, I'm telling you, something's off. Rocket Money helps you track every dollar, uncover hidden spending, and take control of your finances. It's a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. They've got a dashboard that lays out every bit of your total financial picture, including bill due dates and paydays, in a way that's easy to digest. You can even automatically create custom budgets based off of your past spending. I just found out recently that I'm paying for food subscription services that I don't even have downloaded on my phone, which is crazy to think about. They've saved me tons of money, and they've saved users over $2.5 billion, including over $880 million in canceled subscriptions alone. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions today and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Broncos chat today. That's rocketmoney.com/Broncos chat. rocketmoney.com/Broncos chat. Promo God. What free agent wide receiver do we go after next offseason? Ooh. George Pickens. But I think that Dallas might franchise tag him. So I'll tell you what, Mike Evans is a free agent target. Christian Kirk is a free agent target. Jawan Jennings is a free agent target. Out of those guys that I just listed, I'd prefer to have Mike Evans, but he's got injury concerns. Jawan Jennings is not a bad idea, I don't think. Jacoby Myers is also an option, but I also think he'll re-sign with Jacksonville. I'm going to say right now, my official answer is Jawan Jennings. I think that's where I'm going to rely on. He plays for the 49ers right now. Falls. Hey, Moose. Nick should be in the MVP convo. I'm convinced that after a W on Sunday, he would be. If he pulls up and plays like he did against the Packers, dude, I'm telling you right now, Bo Nix has played just like Nick Wright said. His best 3 games of his career back-to-back-to-back weeks. And this one by far was his best. He was superb against the Packers. I do believe if he has another game like he did against the Packers against the Jaguars, he will absolutely be in the top 3 of MVP conversation, no doubt. Jackson, and this will be our last one, Mr. Alper. Who do you think our first game is of the playoffs would be? Believe it or not, we would have the bye right now, but then what is it? What is the official ruling, Alper? Is it one plays the winner of the 4 and the 5?
One plays the winner of the lowest seed.
So it'll be 2 and... So it could be 7 or 6 or 5. So basically what you're saying is if it started today, you would play either the Chargers, the Bills, or the Texans.
If they won.
If they won. And I'm not going to lie to you, I really hope the Texans don't win. They're scary. So I don't want to play the Houston Texans. I'd much rather play the Buffalo Bills or the Los Angeles Chargers. I think the Steelers are a really easy team to beat as well. I don't think they're good at all. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. A reminder to hit that subscribe button, like today's video. And as always, Broncos Country, a mile-high salute to you. Be cool.